We have breaking news for you. Oath Keepers founder Stewart Rhodes has been sentenced to 18 years in prison.
A jury convicted Stewart Rhodes last November on several felony counts, including seditious conspiracy.
CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane is there with us now. Scott, you've just left court. Tell us what led the judge to impose an 18-year sentence.
Yeah, this is the longest sentence in any U.S. Capitol riot prosecution. 18 years will keep Stewart Rhodes in prison up to the 2040s. By orders of magnitude, this was the most serious January 6 case to get to sentencing, and it felt that way in the courtroom. An absolutely withering hour transpired as the judge heard Stewart Rhodes' argument and then delivered that sentence. What Judge Amit Mehta said when he issued the 18-year sentence is that he believes Stewart Rhodes remains a threat to American democracy, a person who puts the well-being of America in peril, and says if not for Stewart Rhodes, any number of the accused Oath Keepers would never have come to Washington, D.C. January 6th. He said Stewart Rhodes was, in fact, somebody who galvanized some of the violence that day and is responsible for so much of what happened that day. And that's what always has separated this case. Stewart Rhodes was not just accused of being here in Washington January 6th and trying to oppose the transfer of power. He was charged with and convicted of seditiously conspiring to block the transfer of power, of being a plotter and a planner. Stewart Rhodes tried to ask for leniency today, tried to make an argument, but much of it was a politically charged invective against the Biden administration about what Stewart Rhodes characterizes the radical left, and a defense of his actions, his group, and a remorseless statement that did not land with the judge.
Scott, you've been tracking all of these prosecutions since January 6th meticulously, and you've been really on top of this. But I'm reading a note that you just sent about the judge's kind of tone and demeanor when he was delivering these remarks at the sentencing. Is this the most kind of visceral reaction you've seen from the bench so far in these cases?
Easily. We've sat through hundreds of sentencing hearings from January 6 cases, and yeah, there have been hundreds of them. This is the largest criminal prosecution in American history. This one was just different. You could feel it in the room. You could sense it from all the people sitting there. The judge, as he tackled the sentencing in the highest level of all the January 6 cases, really painted a bigger picture, expressing concern not just about what happened January 6th here in Washington, D.C., but about what happens next after the 2024 election. The risk, the latent, if not growing risk of future political violence and the future unbinding of American democracy. The judge was saying what happened January 6th wasn't just a problem on January 6th, but one which continues to divide the country and raises the prospect of future attack. The judge really leaned into that when handing down this sentence, this 18-year sentence, which is by far the longest issued in any Capitol riot case so far.
And with it being the longest, and remember, federal prosecutors were pushing for 25 years, but I'm wondering if this has any potential implications for other January 6 cases.
It most certainly will. There are other seditious conspiracy cases tied to January 6th, which will soon go to sentencing. In fact, one will go to sentencing by the end of this day. Rhodes' co-defendant, Kelly Meggs, for whom the Department of Justice will recommend 21 years in prison. He faces sentencing. So do the members of the far-right Proud Boys, convicted of seditious conspiracy and likely to go to sentencing in late August or early September. So really, this case lays down a marker and a new foundation for what seditious conspiracy in modern-day America brings at court. A couple things to note. The judge was asked to compare this case to other January 6 cases to ensure there weren't unwarranted sentencing disparities. And the judge said this case really is kind of a unicorn. It doesn't line up well with other January 6 cases, despite there being so many of them, because this was the first one to go to sentencing involving seditious conspiracy, plotting to attack the government by force. So we had to compare it to other previous, almost generational sedition cases, and those are kind of apples and oranges because those cases involved terrorist strikes, violent attacks, and Rhodes was not accused of engaging in any violence personally. So this really was a precedent setter versus a precedent follower.
Yeah, Scott, I looked this up before we had you because we were talking here about when the last time a seditious conspiracy prosecution went forward. And there have only been 3, I think, in the last 20 years prior to this group. So as you said, if this case was so unique and such a unicorn, my questions are, do you think this will have a knock-on effect for the other sentencing hearings we're about to hear coming up in the next couple of days? And do you think this will be a charge we see used more or less often by the Justice Department?
Well, if there are more January 6 prosecutions to come, if there are more big-level conspirators or organizers or inciters still to be charged, the Department of Justice has just secured some precedent, haven't they, by getting a conviction for seditious conspiracy and securing a robust prison sentence. This is all leverage for the Department of Justice if it seeks to charge this again against other people. We've seen all of the current seditious conspiracy trials go through, the accused Oath Keepers and the accused Proud Boys. But the Department of Justice has been unequivocal and emphatic that there are hundreds more arrests still to come. The potential for seditious conspiracy cases that have yet to be filed remains. And there is, of course, a special counsel investigating any number of threads involving efforts to overturn the 2020 elections. You can't preclude the special counsel from recommending charges of conspiracy, potentially even seditious conspiracy against people who have yet to be charged. So all of this is out there, and all of this has been strengthened today for the Department of Justice by securing not just the conviction at trial in front of a jury, but this 18-year prison sentence, the longest issued in any January 6 case so far.
Scott, you know, when you said that there are more arrests potentially to come, I wrote that down as a note because I think it's surprising to a lot of people that folks haven't been charged yet and may still see charges. Give us a big picture. Where are some of these cases in court? We know that the former Proud Boys chairman was just convicted of seditious conspiracy. He's likely going to be influenced in sentencing based off of this. But how many more people may still be charged?
And Scott, is there a statute of limitations for this charge, for bringing these charges?
They're nowhere near the end, and they've been clear about that. This is like trying to grab with your arms the ocean. There were thousands of people unlawfully on Capitol grounds that day, and there's only one courthouse hearing these cases. There's only so many prosecutors. There's only so many FBI agents. They have so far charged more than 1,030 people for their roles in January 6th. Some of them just with misdemeanors, unlawfully parading or picketing. Some with felonies as severe as seditious conspiracy. But they haven't gotten everybody yet. And they've already forecast there are hundreds more people they're still looking for. And that includes people for whom they have images and are seeking the public's help in identifying. But also, they don't know what they don't know. Some of these defendants come in after they're charged, they plead guilty, they agree to cooperate, and they turn over others. And they're also still getting tips from the public. So there may be a higher ceiling than just a few hundred more. There could be 1,000 more.
All right, Scott MacFarlane, thank you.